Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be taking my tulips out of the containers on my deck garden and I'm going to be transplanting them down into the parkway. Now I did this last year for the first time and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did. The tulips that I planted there spring of 2022 came back spring of 2023. And I'm pretty sure I remember to take a video before I cut the flowers off. Now something I didn't think about was up here, obviously we get some pests, but not a lot. Down there, I realized that, I don't know if it's rabbits or squirrels or something else, likes to munch on the leaves of my tulips. So some of them did get eaten, but that's okay. A lot of them did still come up. So what I'm gonna do is add even more to the parkway with two of these containers, two of these containers and then one of the raised beds. So the basic process of what I do is I remove the flowers, which I've already done because those are spent and gone. I leave the leaves on when I dig them up and replant them downstairs. That's because the leaves, while they're still green, are still absorbing energy and feeding the bulb so that it can come back again next year. So I dig them up with the leaves, I plant them with the leaves, and then once the leaves turn yellow and die back, then I'll cut them. It doesn't look the prettiest, but that's what you need to do to have healthy bulbs. Now let me give you a bit of a rundown on how my tulips performed this year versus last. If you want to skip to this, I'll put a little marker down below. But last year was the first year that I had tulips growing in my container. So I planted them in fall of 2021 to bloom in spring of 2022. And I had really great luck with all of my raised beds on the front deck. I'm on the back deck right now. They all came up fine. I also planted some in these size pots and smaller, left them outside uncovered over winter, and the ones in the smaller pots rotted and became mushy. So going forward into this year, in fall of 2022, I planted the raised beds on the front bed just like I did, left them uncovered. I had the new raised beds here on the back deck that I put some in two of the three beds, and then I also put them in the pots, but I kept the pots in a greenhouse over the winter so that they didn't get too much moisture. I didn't have as good a luck with bulbs this year. The ones in the front raised beds that did great last year, I think maybe a third came up, if not a little bit less. The rest rotted. Here in the back two beds, nothing came up. These beds are even smaller volume-wise, so I think that they didn't dry out as easily with all the moisture that we got. So in those, I planted pre-sprouted bulbs that I got from Home Depot this spring. And then these obviously came up and did great, but one set bloomed and the other didn't produce any blooms. And that could partially be because of the weather, that we had, like the ups and downs, but I don't know, it was just really odd. So I don't know if maybe I need to leave them in the greenhouse longer until they do start to bloom before moving them outside, because there were some rotten ones I think in here too. So I don't know. Having said that though, I think I'm going to try one more time this fall to plant tulips, because it is, I mean, it's not inexpensive either way, but it is a bit cheaper to buy the bulbs. You can also get a lot more varieties in the fall and plant them than going and buying pre-sprouted bulbs. So what I think I'm going to do for this fall is I will maybe just do either the front or the back, keep them all in one location. I'm going to tarp any of the raised beds, since I obviously can't move those into a greenhouse, and then I will keep the pots in the greenhouse until they actually start to form their flowers and then move them out. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just going to stick to buying pre-sprouted bulbs and sticking them in a few beds. So there's a solution for everything. But now let's go ahead. I'm going to dig up two of these gray pots and then the bulbs in the back bed, and then I will show you what I do for transplanting them. All right, so I've removed all of the tulips. I have one basket here. These are the ones from the gray pots. These were a blend of like pink colored tulips. And then these are the ones from the raised bed. And again, these I bought this spring pre-sprouted from Home Depot. Those were all yellow. What I'm going to do, I'll put them in two separate baskets so that as I'm kind of spreading them out, I can know which one is which. So I don't have like one huge patch of pink and one huge patch of yellow, but because I keep just putting the random bulbs I've grown every year in the parkway anyway, I'm hoping it's just going to be like one big grouping of as many colors as possible. So now let me tell you what I'm going to use to dig. So last year, I just had my hand trowel, and the parkway area has two trees in it. So there's a lot of roots. It's also very compact soil in general, so it can be hard to dig by hand. So I could really only get tulips like around the edge of the bed with my hand trowel. But I got this auger from Power Planter at the Proven Winners event I went to last year. I had an auger in my Amazon cart. I'm assuming it probably wasn't going to be as good a quality as this, and they gave us this in like the gift basket. So I've used it twice, I think, because I already moved the bulbs down from the front, which there honestly weren't that many. And then I think I used it to plant a heuchera down there. I can't remember now, but I used it to plant some perennials that I got this spring too. So it works really well. I can now dig in areas that I couldn't dig in before. I am going to post two safety videos down below. One is from Power Planter, the company that makes this. The other one is from Janie with Dig, Plant, Water, Repeat, because she did a really great job showing how she uses her auger and safety tips as well. So I don't consider myself a safety expert yet with augers, which is why I'd rather have you listen to people with more experience than me. But I'm just going to attach this to my drill. I will drill some holes for these tulips. I hope I have enough room. Part of me is kind of thinking I'm already running out of room, but we'll see when I get down there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go downstairs. We'll get these drilled in. And that's going to be it for the day. Well, this is what it's looking like now. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the tulips and the other green plants, but I was able to add more in the middle instead of just around the edges. So that is going to be everything. Like I said, I did this for the first time last year and was really excited to see that the tulips came back this year, because that means I can get multiple years out of the tulips in my containers. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.